Summers, is this rolling? Is this set hot? Summers, this is Derek Dillinger, the franchise of AIW, the director of the production, the Neon Tarantino, Derek Dillinger, and you're listening to Wrestling Chairs. Cut.
Taking your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, especially after 2021. This is Wrestling Cheers. We'd like to talk about things going on Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews along the way. This is the end of the year award show where we will be reviewing 2021 for AIW as a whole, and we will also make some predictions for 2022. I'm your host, Justin Summers, and Wrestling Cheers is brought to you by the Trending Topics Network and Midwest Territory. Please rate, review, and subscribe you ever listen to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose or desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com, and we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said, this is the 2021 year in review and 2022 predictions. Already introduced myself and brought back the cast from last year. First, we got Charly Butters.
The only reason I did it this year is because I had so much fun doing this last year and the year before that, and I could not do it this year. I had to keep the streak alive. So glad to be back. We
also have Stacy.
How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. We got probably like a long episode coming up. This is a lot of stuff we got to go over.
Oh, so a normal episode.
Kind of. At least last year we divided up into 2 episodes. This year it's going to be 1 episode.
Oh, okay. Well, strap in, people.
We also have Pam.
Hi, guys.
And we also have Ed, who's on a little Twitter sabbatical.
I was just gonna say I'm on vacation, so you're really lucky to be getting me. I'm a big get right now. You know what I mean? It's gonna be the one of only 2 podcasts I do this month. So, also, did you say YouTube? This is on YouTube?
There's a version that kind of goes up from Podbean, but yeah.
Who are these perverts that are watching this on YouTube?
With no video.
Yeah, dirty perverts.
The same ones that watch those women's wrestling matches without the commentary. They listen to this while they watch the matches.
That makes sense though, because isn't there is it India where those are big hits? It's some country where they don't have pornography, so that's the closest thing they're going to get to it.
And when I think pornography, I think Wrestling Cheers.
I think beyond wrestling.
I think CZW. Well, shit.
Who doesn't come on Wrestling Cheers and just think about dropping huge loads? Come on.
That's true. Big fat
loads. Where all the grease
loads of cum.
Painting the walls.
Oh my god, this is greasy as fuck straight out the gate. I feel so alone.
So,
come to 2022.
So I went back and listened to last year's show to kind of
on YouTube.
Not even me. I don't even watch that on YouTube. But
oh shit!
I took some notes down of certain things, and the first thing that I want to mention is Pam. How is the New Girl podcast going?
I was hoping you would forget about that and it would not come up. It's not going anywhere. It's still in the same spot as last time. Just an idea in my head. So
on the 2022 vision board. Got it.
Possibly. Who knows? Things happening. I don't know.
I feel like we just talked about that a few months ago, not a year ago. That's so crazy.
It was a year ago.
Right. I can't believe it. Yeah, it's crazy how quick this year had gone by, but yeah, maybe this year I'll do something like that.
One thing that we were very unsure of last year was the number of shows we were going to get. And that was a random question that I threw out. Had everybody like pick a number, and I wanted to see where we would go. So I picked 10. Stacy picked 8, but he said that they will do a show by June, and he was thinking it was going to be J-Lit. Ed said 4. Butters said 7. Pam said 4 to 6. The actual number, and there's technically more, but there was, to my count, 12 shows plus Go for Broke, all those episodes. And there was the 4 shows at the North Canton Street Fair. So whether you want to add that to the 12 or not, that's where we stood.
12 shows, huh?
Yeah.
Plus the street.
Bro, I think I went to like 3.
I went to all of them. All of them.
I think I went to all of them. No, I missed one. I didn't go to the Winchester one, but that will be changing for this one. I will be going to the Winchester.
I will not be eating wings this time.
Yeah, that's something I was going to bring up too. Re-listening to that preview, you talked about, being excited about like, oh, I want Winchester's wings. I want a brownie sundae. 2021 really fucking let you down with your venue food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm never going into anything expecting anything ever again. So unless it's Brock's food and I know it's good.
Because, yes.
You know what you should do instead of eating food at these shows is drugs.
I do those too, and that's kind of the reason why I eat, because I'm hungry because of the drugs I consume. They give me the munchies. So that nice little helping of wings and fries that I would get at the end of the Winchester show would do me right, but those wings fucking sucked. I do not want to give them money for anything but possibly alcohol, and maybe not even that.
All right, let's get into the awards. And all that, the categories that we have are Event of the Year, Special Guest of the Year, Match of the Year, Debut of the Year, Moment of the Year, and Group/Team of the Year, and finally, Wrestler of the Year. I do have all your predictions down, or your votes down, so if you did kind of forget where they were, I have reference. And also, we will figure out where were these candidates your choice, or whether was there something that didn't make it through the nomination process that you would have picked. Because that's the thing too. If anybody is upset about these awards, I have actually in front of me a tally for all the nominations. And I can tell you how many nominations all of them got. And almost every single category, the 4 that you've seen were the 4 top vote getter or nomination getters. And if what other show, event, whatever it may be, if it didn't get enough, it didn't go further. I didn't want to put any bias in it or any of that. And there was a couple that got nominations to make it, and I didn't think they were going to get a lot of votes. And I'll be honest, they didn't. But there's also ones that got a lot of nominations and didn't win. Like actually got the most nominations, but still lost voting. So that's what I think is very, very interesting about all of this. Let's
if you're upset about the Wrestling Cheers year-end awards voting process and like nominations, you need a fucking hobby. Like, you need to reevaluate most aspects of your life if this is a thing that deeply upset you.
I need a wrestling Rumspringa.
Yes, dude, that's Jonah's best idea, dude. Everyone should take a month wrestling Rumspringa. I'm telling you.
But why do I think there's going to be at least one person?
I mean, if Summers is bringing it up, then somebody bitched about it, right?
No.
Am I reading that right, Justin?
No, nobody's bitching about it. I'm covering my ass
okay,
just in case somebody bitches about it.
Okay. I was when I heard that, I was like, is somebody really like mad about the Wrestling Cheers year-end awards?
Well, I'll say this. Whenever I announced all the finalists, like I put them on Twitter, that like Wrestler of the Year people was like Matt Cardona. And I'm like, he didn't get enough nominations. Hands down, did not get enough. And I wasn't going to just put him in there. Like the 4 people got the most nominations. All right. We'll start with Event of the Year. The nominees were Hell on Earth 16, One Step Ahead, Chandler Biggins Memorial Tournament, and Sunny Days. Stacy, you picked Sunny Days. Pam, you picked Hell on Earth 16. Ed, Chandler Biggins Memorial Tournament. I picked Hell on Earth 16, and Butters picked the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tournament. Before we announce who actually won, Stacy, what was your event of the year? Was it Sunny Days or was it something else?
It was Sunny Days for AIW. Yeah, that was my event of the year.
Okay. I mean, obviously these are all AIW categories because obviously there's other shows people could watch, other companies and all that kind of stuff, but keeping within the realm, event of the year, Sunny Days. Okay.
Yeah, I like that show for me. Like, there's the Lee Moriarty versus Anthony Green match was really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Kaplan versus Rhino was, I think that was the match this year that kind of set off the Kaplan run. Well, aside from him versus Josh at the Juggalo Wrestling. But like at AIW, that was really like the moment where shit started taking off for him. That show also had like a sleeper match of Members Only versus 9 to 5, which I thought was really fucking good. And it had that 4-way with Chase Oliver, Alex Zane, Gringo Loco, and Matt Cross.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people like don't think about that show because it was the Sunny show or whatever, but it really wasn't. It was like a fucking solid show. Oh, and it had that whole thing at the beginning with Tom wrestling Eric Taylor and then it turning into him versus Mance.
Yeah. Yeah. That was something that hell, even I forgot about.
And there was like one of the Derek and Justice matches on that too.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That show fucking ruled.
I didn't put the exact note down, but Stacy, I do think it was you during the predictions for last year. We had a category of who will debut in AIW, and I think you said it was either maybe you or Ed thought maybe Rhino, but I said like no, Rhino's been in AIW, but he showed up this year, so it's half a point there. All right, Pam, you like I said, you picked Hell on Earth 16. Was that your actual show of the year?
Yeah, it was. My brain is not working tonight. So we went to every show, and for the amount of, because like my anxiety and shit has been really messing with me. It shows, and I know it's a little hard to tell, but Hell on Earth 16, I felt more comfortable in there. I think it's because of how big the place was, and weird stuff like that affects me anymore. But like just everything about that show, just the feel and how it felt like, and that's what I have been wanting for a while. I mean, we've had shows through the pandemic and everything else and in between, but like that show felt normal to me, and it just made me feel good, and that's why it was my show.
For me, I also picked Hell on Earth 16, and I think when you put all those shows down, like that's the one that kind of stuck out the most, whether it been, we're at this new venue, it's really big, it was packed, it felt very special with everybody that was there. Even like the main event, I'm going in like, who's going to be the mystery partner? And, some people were let down, some people weren't, but like, I love J-Pro doing it. And that it felt like we're going back to a little bit of normal, at least within AIW, of getting like the show, and then we're going to potentially build to Absolution. So it felt so special that night. And, if that's the, Hell on Earth venue going forward, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I like that venue a lot.
Parking was weird.
Parking, was a little weird. I think I got there at a decent time. For me, though, like the fact that like there was like literally no room for a line, and like we had to like snake that whole fucking thing, and then there had to be like this cutoff to where people had to wait out in a different hallway, and then once that line, the first line was done, like the other people could come in. Like, yeah, that part was a cluster, but once everybody got in and settled, it was definitely worth it.
I mean, if I had to make a suggestion for that building in the future, I would say that you should just let people in earlier. That place is fucking huge. Even if you're doing some last minute stuff, just let people in.
Yeah.
The line in that place, especially, so like, it's whatever's whatever, but like cramming people into that stairwell and shit with COVID was bad look. But
yeah, that's true. I wasn't even thinking about it like that. All right, Ed, you picked the Chandler Pickens Memorial Tournament. So did you, Butters.
Yeah.
Ed, was that your show of the year?
No.
Okay.
It was not.
Then what was it?
The last one, the Christmas one.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that felt like I know Pat said it on her show, like, oh, Hell on Earth, that felt like AIW. And I was like, yeah, it did. But like, I think that last show felt like, dude, that was like, you could put that in Mount Carmel. You know what I mean? Like, that felt like a Mount Carmel show. And, yeah, it was real dope. And then, I Isaiah Broner punched Tom in the face really fucking hard, and that was cool as fuck, dude.
Oddly enough, that show only got one nomination. Might have been from you. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
It was me. For sure it was me. I loved that show. I thought that show was super dope.
I'm pretty sure every show got nominated except for the North Canton shows. Or maybe the Winchester show didn't get nominated either. But every other show got at least one.
Those North Canton shows were dope. I don't know that anybody would ever pick it as your show of the year. But like that's something that if it's happening again this year, I'm stoked for. That shit was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I believe I'm under the assumption that it is happening.
Yeah, I think it is too. But
so yeah, obviously you picked the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tournament as that was the best show of what was listed.
Yeah, because Mikey did that Gonna Skate clutch at it.
And that's the best reason to vote for it.
Yeah, that was it. That was the literal reason. Yep. Because Mikey did a Gonna Skate clutch.
Because Dom didn't get to kill him at that show. Got it.
Fucking Dom dodged a bullet there, dude. It would have been embarrassing for him to lose to Mikey, you know what I mean? Especially to a Gonna Skate clutch, because that would have been Dom. Dom wouldn't have kicked out of a Gonna Skate clutch. That's his weakness.
So I didn't vote for this one. This was what I had to pick basically out of what was left, what was available.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I've picked the show as the tournament and everything is because we spent those 10 weeks doing Go for Broke, and it felt like the culmination of all that. So it just felt like a really big deal when I was there watching it, even though like it didn't end the way I wanted it to, like, you know, but it still ended with us getting, Wes Barkley getting the title shot of his choosing, the whole 9 yards. Like, it was a lot of fun. Like, they threw in that match with Weird Body and Josh Bishop for the title in the semi-main, which was cool. But my pick for show of the year was actually, is this something you might be interested in? Not only because they did the mystery to it, but we got some really fun stuff in that. We got Mance Warner, Tommy Rich, that turned into that 8-man tag. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see Eddie Kingston come back and face Dom, which was fucking awesome to see live, and be in the building when Eddie came through the curtain and just feel that energy. That's something I'll never forget. And then we also got like Bishop and Justice and that table that wouldn't fucking break, and just like all the gross shit that happened with them trying to break that fucking table. And I'll never forget that either.
All right. With everybody's picks out of the way, the winner with 42.5% of the votes, Hell in Earth 16, which also Hell in Earth 16 was the number one nomination getter. So it proved that most people nominated it and it won. But surprisingly enough, that is not going to be a theme throughout this whole thing. There are some that did. There are some ones that surprisingly didn't. So let's move on to the next one. All right. Next up, we have special guest of the year. The nominees are Jeff Jarrett, Thunder Rosa, Eddie Kingston, and Dominic Guarini. In the voting...
What?
Not Dominic. When I say Dominic Guarini, Danhausen.
No, they look similar. I get it.
I'm multitasking here.
Boy, makeup every now and then, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you guys voted. Stacy, you picked Thunder Rosa, as did I. Pam and Ed, you both pick Eddie Kingston, and Charlie Butters, you picked, surprisingly, joking, Danhausen.
Yeah.
Stacy, was this your pick for guest of the year?
Fuck yeah. So here was my logic in looking at this. The options were Thunder Rosa, Eddie Kingston, Danhausen, and who was the other one?
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett. Okay. So, to me, Eddie wasn't a special guest. Eddie was a surprise that showed up, but he didn't do like a meet and greet. There wasn't like that whole thing. It was just Eddie was there as a surprise.
Yeah.
That's not a special guest. Danhausen is an AIW guy. Is he successful? Yes. Has he been away for a while? Yes. But he's an AIW guy. Danhausen has been there more than people who are on the regular roster right now. Jeff Jarrett, I just have never really cared about.
Okay.
But Thunder Rosa would have been my pick regardless, because she had more fun being a guest at AIW than I have ever seen anyone have. Like, she went full in. Like, she was helping Steve Guy pitch shit during the intermission, and just, she had fun, man. And that left an impression on me. I dug Thunder Rosa before that, but like, I kind of became a fan that day just watching her like genuinely enjoy indie wrestling in a way that a lot of the folks who come in don't. So that's why she was my pick.
So similar to me, I just kind of looked at like what blew me away, and then especially just how much like you said, how much fun she had and all that kind of stuff. And as much as like I loved Cardona being there, and I loved like as he could have been one of my picks, he was there a couple times, and I look at it differently for like Danhausen and Kingston. Those two aren't regulars anymore, and like both of them, it was special for one reason or another. Eddie, especially for being a total surprise. So I could understand why he got nominated and why people voted for him.
Yeah, I mean, I was very excited that Eddie was there. It just, to me, special guest is more of that role like Jarrett was. Danhausen definitely was on the bill as like a special guest.
Yeah.
But like, to me, that's more of like the way it was with Jarrett or Thunder Rosa or Godfather or like the Doll Dorks when they first came in, all that stuff. Like, that's more of the way I look at it, where like you're a feature on the show, that it's known that or like Ethan Page when he just came in, like that kind of thing, where like if you're set up by the ring or if you have a spot in the back where you're doing like these meet and greets, to me, that's like the special guest. And Eddie was like there to wrestle, you know, he was a surprise. And I was super stoked. Like, I'll be happy anytime Eddie Kingston's at AIW. But it just, to me, that's, he would get my vote if it wasn't that, to me, in my head, it's not the way I picture what a special guest is. And additionally, floored by how much fun Thunder Rosa had at it.
All right, Pam, you picked Eddie Kingston. Was that your actual pick?
It was. So I feel that Stacy said 100% about Thunder Rosa. Like, I went back and forth between her and Eddie for like 5 minutes before I voted, because she was a great guest. But Eddie is Eddie, and I don't know when I'm ever going to see him, and he made my fucking night that night by being there. And I got a really rad picture of him and Mance after the show. But yeah, like, I just love Eddie so much. Even though Thunder Rosa's appearance was great, she really did make a hell of a intermission. She loved it. Like, she really did have so much fun. But like, I just love Eddie, so Eddie got my vote.
I remember before he came out, like there was this long musical intro, and if I would have put two and two together, I should have figured that was him. But things that I noticed, it was like everybody was up in, the AIW Crow's Nest, like with their phones out. So I'm like, okay, this is a big deal. Who the fuck is it? And then when Eddie comes out, like, it's a pop. Fucking blew the roof off the Odeon. So yeah, I can understand this being a lot of people's special guest of the year. How about you, Ed?
I think I voted for Eddie Kingston, right?
Yes. Is that your special guest of the year?
No.
It was Ethan Page.
It was Ethan Page. Yeah, he came and he didn't pretend to know any karate, and I was really excited about that. He didn't wrestle Swoggle, and I was really excited about that. And he did wrestle Mikey, though, and I was really excited about that. It was just all kind of perfect.
Yeah. He was very close of making it. He just didn't, just like one vote away from being it.
Well, I get it, because he got to vote for Jeff Jarrett for some reason. Fuck Jeff Jarrett forever. Forever fuck Jeff Jarrett. Fuck him. Hate his guts.
So obviously, Charlie, you picked Danhausen. Your official pick?
Man, it was really difficult because, like, for a lot of the things, like Pam said, like, I love Danhausen, so obviously that was going to be my go-to. But like, I really thought about Thunder Rosa because she, like, out of everybody that was a special guest, she was the one that did surprise me the most, and like I remember the most out of everybody. And Ethan Page too, because we broke the curse, so like that was like a big deal to me. I don't remember who I voted for initially. I don't think it was Danhausen initially in the like nomination phase. But yeah, so I mean, Danhausen is always great to see, and I'm just happy anytime I get to see him. So,
Charlie, you did not vote in the nomination stage.
did I not?
You did not.
Also, I missed it.
You missed it. So I don't know. You could have changed some voting here.
I thought I did vote. That's weird. It must not have went through.
Nope. I said I'm looking at everybody on the list right now, and I don't see you.
Wow.
Charlie, didn't you learn anything from Rock the Vote when you were younger?
Dude, I really don't. I think I remember something about that, but I do not remember. Like, I don't think I was old enough to vote at the time. Like, I
Yeah,
couldn't vote in 2004.
and Butters are more the vote or die generation.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out for us. So.
No, dude. I think the worst thing to ever happen to this country besides Facebook is telling everybody that they should get out and vote, because some people are fucking stupid and you shouldn't vote because you don't know what you're doing.
What's the vote or die thing? Like, we're all about the same age. I don't remember that.
Puff Daddy.
Yeah, dude, that was like P. Diddy. Yeah, vote or die.
Why don't I remember that?
I don't know.
I remember
I mean,
most.
the government clearly chose die.
No, they chose vote and die.
Marijuana, a memory.
So, hey, look, it's not even about that. But, like...
I remember mostly the spoof that South Park did.
Yeah, where P. Diddy's going to kill you if you don't vote.
Yeah. I think there's like a little song about it too that he did on South Park. It was great.
That's why P. Diddy had Biggie murdered, right? He didn't vote.
I'm done.
All right.
Oh, Christ.
And the winner, and this was kind of surprising, and I'll explain it here in a second. It was Thunder Rosa. She beat Eddie by one vote, but in the nomination process, Jeff Jarrett got the most nominations. It might have also helped. Thunder Rosa did retweet this.
Oh.
And if people put Twitter handles, it verifies a vote. But still, I think easily this is one of the top, especially who I picked, Thunder Rosa.
Hey, I can't get on Twitter. Did we win that award from Tiger Driver? Does anybody know? DM, did we win that?
I don't even.
When did they announce that?
I don't even know.
I have no idea. Let's look.
Yeah, somebody look and see. Go to the Tiger Driver's Twitter, and
Pam's gonna do it.
I just want to beat Renee Young's podcast so bad. Because then she has to be on our show, right? That's how that works.
I didn't vote for you guys 3,000 times.
Yeah,
but I did vote for you like 5.
So who cares that much to do that? You know what I mean?
Well, I was just taking a shit, and so I just went back through it while I was on the toilet and revoted a couple of times.
Like, I know it wasn't ours, but like, who cares enough about those awards to make 3,000 votes for it?
That's wild.
Yeah, man. Renee Young probably.
Speaking of, Justin, was there any shenanigans in your voting? Did you bust anybody for voting twice?
I won't publicly say, but I think there is a particular wrestler who might have voted multiple times.
Potato?
Was it Arthur MacArthur?
No, I will say, here's the funny thing about Arthur. In the nomination process, he did do nominations, and literally he wrote under the name, totally not Arthur.
Yeah.
So that popped me. But I won't say who, but there was also, well, I don't know exactly, but someone tried to vote Myles Garrett. As in, they put their Twitter handle. I'm like, Myles Garrett doesn't watch AEW. As far as I
don't know that.
Yeah, but I don't know.
So somebody voted as Flash Garrett?
Yeah, someone voted as Flash Garrett. They had
to disqualify them?
Yes, I did.
Miles Garrett's gonna listen to this, and he's so pissed off right now.
Miles, I'm sorry, buddy. Just make sure you take all that hate that you have for Justin out on Ben Roethlisberger's carcass on Monday night.
Come on, man! It's his last game at Heinz Field.
Well, all the more reason send him to the hospital on his way out.
This will be coming out after the game.
Also, get Justin disqualified as a Browns backer.
Hey.
Oh.
If I would ever to find out that his was right, this is legit, I would take back a lot of things. But seeing
Who did
how
Miles vote for?
I'll say this, the person that I believe it was got some votes from Myles Garrett mysteriously, and it was the same person who might have voted multiple times. So
What?
now we can talk about off the air. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but I noticed some things. And
It was potato.
And someone also tried voting as me, like before I actually voted.
That was you. You just forgot you did it.
No,
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot
He
of
doesn't
work on it.
smoke the marijuana.
And when I tweeted about it, there was a wrestler that liked that tweet. So it makes me think might be him. Spoiler, male. That's all I'll say. All right, let's get to the next category. Match of the year. We have Matt Cardona versus Joshua Bishop for the Absolute and Intense Championships from One Step Ahead. Eddie Kingston versus Dominic Garrini at Is This Something You Might Be Interested In? Derek Dillinger versus Matt Justice from Sunny Days, and Jocelyn Navarro versus Thunder Rosa from One Step Ahead. Going to what we actually voted for? I'm waiting for a time when like we all have the same, but I think we all vary. Stacy and Pam, you both pick Eddie Kingston versus Dominic Garrini, as well as you, Butters. Ed picked Derek Dillinger versus Matt Justice, and I picked Matt Cardona versus Joshua Bishop.
Of course.
Yeah, well. Stacy, is that your actual pick for match of the year?
Fuck yeah, it is. So like that match, that moment, was the fucking coolest thing that happened in AIW all year. It was a fucking great match. Dom had a good match both nights on that show. That pop when Eddie came out, I have been in some buildings where big pops have happened. The biggest one that I was ever at was at WrestleMania when the Hardys came back. That was fucking crazy. The energy that was in that room for Eddie was like that same level. It was fucking wild. The match was really fucking good. Dom had a bunch of good matches this year. In his very short amount of time he wrestled this year, he managed to have my favorite match in AIW and my favorite match on the Indies total with him versus Suzuki. It's, yeah, 100% that was the match. Like, Derek and Matt had a fucking really good match. That match rules. I understand picking it. I couldn't imagine picking a match with Matt Cardona in it. But the fucking Eddie Kingston match, fuck yeah, him and Dom tore that place apart.
I'll say right now that Cardona Bishop as well as Kingston Dom had the most nominations. Pam, was this your match of the year?
Yes, and everything Stacy said, because my memory is shit, but yes, everything Stacy said.
How about you, Butters?
I was really torn between this and Derek and Justice, but I went with this one because A, the pop, and B, this match, I just remember more of it, and I think it was just the better of the two. Really like this match a lot.
Ed, was Derek versus Matt your actual match of the year?
No.
I'm hold. Actually, I can pull yours up. You did do the nomination process.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a theme with a lot of Ed's picks. We'll go over it. But what was your pick?
My pick was the Bitcoin Boys and the Duke versus Swoggle, Ethan Page, and John Thorne. That's not even a bit. Like, I'm not even doing a bit. I thought that was the best. Like, that was the most fun I had watching a wrestling match in AIW all year. It was really fun. That was just a really, really fun match. I liked it.
You were the only person to nominate it.
Yeah, I got great taste, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was really great. I dig anytime John Thorne wrestles, because somebody pointed out that, like, he's the boss, so he gets to punch people as hard as he wants. They can't complain. Like, I think that's great.
I think for me it was Bishop and Cardona. There was a lot of build coming from the major announcement match. I actually thought Bishop was going to win, and that was going to lead to a whole bunch of stuff. But everything that also came out of it with like PME and everything, to me, is just like one of the best matches that we had all year. And hopefully this is a big moment for Bishop.
The only thing they did wrong with that is 440 should have helped
Well,
Bishop win.
Stop.
Do you remember that? When 440 helped Cardona beat Nick Gage, and everyone was so mad.
Everyone was mad at the end of this match.
Everyone was so fucking angry. Oh, it's funny. It's really funny. Brett was like, I know everybody hates this 440 stuff, but guys, we're going to do it again. I know we just left, but we're going to bring them right back, if that's all right with everybody.
So, like I said, Cardona and Bishop was tied with Kingston and Dom for nominations, but the winner of the poll, actually a decent size win, was Kingston versus Dom. So,
my faith is restored in the AIW faithful.
Actually, too, I don't know if I said this earlier, but Thunder Rosa being the guest of the year only won by 1 vote, and it was to Kingston. Kingston was
yeah, because Eddie's the fucking best.
Yeah, so kind of a big moment for AIW at that point, or at this point of looking back, and that was our second show of the year. All right, let's move on to the next category. Debut of the year. The nominees are Members Only, Isaiah Broner, The Main Event. Looking at what everybody voted for, we are all split with 2. And I'll admit, I was split between these 2 as well. Stacy and Pam, you both picked Members Only, and the rest of us, Ed, Butters, and myself, we all picked Isaiah Broner. Like I said, I was split between these 2. The thing that put Isaiah Broner over more with me than Members Only was that punch to Filthy Tom. So I'm giving it to him, but both Members Only, Isaiah Broner deserve it. Stacy, was this your actual debut of the year?
Fuck yeah. And it was a difficult choice. Members Only, though, just beat out The Main Event.
Okay.
And the reason why is 100% based on that North Canton show. Like,
I knew it.
those kids came out and fucking killed it. First match out. Fucking killed it. And then continued to kill it on every show they were on. They have confidence like I have never seen out of kids debuting out of the AIW Academy. Like, I don't know who said it. I think it might have been Thorne that said that they think they're the main event. Like, they think they're those 2 big dudes. They have that fucking confidence, and I love it. Those dudes rule. And they're going to be doing big shit in AIW for a long time, I hope. The Main Event, I've been a fucking huge supporter, huge push for them to be in AIW for a while. I'm glad they're there. But, man, it's not close to just that moment at North Canton did it. That sealed it for me.
How about you, Pam?
And when they gave you shit for not remembering their names, oh boy, that's the best.
Them giving shit is like the best part about them, though. Like, honestly, wrestling aside, the personality that comes out of Malcolm when he talks is fucking hilarious. And that burn on Mikey, I will never forget that. Ever.
I forgot it.
That is
what he say?
Oh my god. So, you can edit this out, but basically, that's when Mikey debuted the blonde hair. And what was the exact wording, Stave? Oh my god, it was something about how Mikey was Worldwide Spawn or something like that. And
No.
Yeah, he said he looked like Worldwide's kid or something, yeah.
Why is that a burn?
Like he made fun of his afro, and he said that's big talk coming from somebody that looks like Worldwide's
kid. Yeah, that's it.
Worldwide would make a great parent, you know? Right?
But
Stacey?
yeah, that
Worldwide's a great lots of things. I'm not sure parent would be on my list. I like Worldwide, but I'm not sure that parenting is on the list of skills.
But yeah, so that's why I like Members Only. LOL. That's not really the main reason, but when I was coming down to my voting too, like, it was very difficult for me to decide, but those 2 had such a showing at Canton that day that they came out, and with it being their first matches in front of people, they came out like they'd been doing it for 2 years already, even though they had just been training for the last 2. And that was really impressive. And every time they've wrestled since then, they've continued to be impressive. And they really are going to do big things here soon within the company.
Ed, you picked Broner, but who was your actual pick?
We've made up and we're friends now, so I'm changing it, and it's members only. I think they're really funny. And then Malcolm said, "Well, I'm gone on Twitter for a month. He's going to take over shit posting for me," and I like that a lot.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's the person to have do it.
Yeah.
Do you remember who you actually picked through nominations? I'll give
Broski, right?
Yeah, you picked Broski. Bold caps
Yeah, how
lock,
could you not?
Broski.
He won both titles. like honestly, that's it. It's Broski for sure, but like,
Boo.
Yeah, that's a
dude,
big
he
move for
won
me.
both belts. Like, what more do you want?
He can fuck off with both belts. Screw him. I don't know.
He did the best that you can do.
I don't know.
Well, I'll get into like the actual full everybody's nominations because I actually just looked at all that, and yeah, you'll be surprised about something, or you might not be. So, Butters, you picked Broner. Is that your actual pick?
Yeah, because I mean, like everybody else said, we were really split, but Broner I had seen before at Paradigm, and so I knew like that he had something special. So I was like just kind of waiting for him to show up at AIW and kind of show everybody else that he's got something special. And when he did, when he F5 Twan, I knew. I was like, everybody, like that moment, like that match, I was just like, okay, he's gonna just go crazy. And then he had that match with Weird Body, and he fucking killed him twice. I knew, like, I just been nice watching him, like knowing from beforehand, like this was going to be the guy. And I think that he's proven every time he's stepped in the ring that he's ready for AIW and be on the watch, because I think he's gonna do big things this year. So he's definitely my debut of the year.
I would say this about Broner. I have seen some people sing along to his theme, and you shouldn't. You should stop. Some of you can, but some of you should stop.
We got some bad singers, right?
Some people think it's a fun song.
Yeah.
The play that's the abbreviation.
Yeah.
Going with actual voting, kind of surprising. This was at one point a 3-way battle, winning by 2 votes, and getting 2 votes less is the main event. Winners were members only, and
they won by 2 votes. I wonder who the 2 votes were that put them over.
Miles Garrett.
No, because that was deleted. I'm trying to think.
What about Vape Oil MMA? Did they vote?
They did. Vape Oil MMA and Miles Garrett is who.
Did AIW fan vote?
Mm-hmm.
AIW fan did not vote.
What about Words? I bet Words voted.
AIW fan didn't vote? That's not a fucking AIW fan. What a shame.
Calvin, I know, voted because he voted fairly early. I don't think Malcolm voted.
That would have been great if they both voted for themselves and they won by 2 votes. That's just the fucking best.
Oh, 100%. Also, because everybody was allowed to vote. You know who voted, at least according to the Twitter handle that was used, and it kind of surprised me. John Thorne.
Oh,
and judging who he picked for certain ones made me think it was legit. So when I saw that vote pop up, I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I'm trying to double scan through this, make sure Malcolm did vote or didn't vote, because he'd be like, what the fuck, I voted, piece of shit, forget my name and forget my vote. No, I'm not seeing it at all, but Calvin I know voted. And wrestlers were allowed to vote. I didn't care. Like if fucking the main event wanted to vote, they didn't. They retweeted it, but if they went through the process, put down the Twitter handles, I would have counted it.
They're Blackcraft champions. They don't have time for voting.
So in the nomination process, members only, landslide. Fucking landslide. Like, I think they had the biggest margin of nominations than any other category. of them to everybody else. So that's the one that the nominations proved to be right. Let's move on to the next one. Moment of the year. Eddie Kingston returns to AIW at Is This Something You Might Be Interested In? PME helps Matt Cardona win the AIW Absolute and Intense Championships at One Step Ahead. Wes Barkley hits Kaplan with a U-Haul at Nightmare on North Elm Street, and Rip City becomes Title Town AIW at Sunny Days. And the voting between us, 3 actual picks. Stacy and Pam, you both picked Eddie Kingston returns. Ed, you picked Wes Barkley hits Kaplan with a U-Haul. Butters, you picked Eddie Kingston returns, so we're just down between, 3, never mind. I picked PME helps Matt Cardona win the titles.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Not surprised at all.
But that was not my actual moment of the year. I'll wait on that one. Stacy, was this your moment of the year?
It was, and it was a really tough decision because that moment was fucking crazy, and I loved it. But it was a real 1B, a real close 1B with Kaplan gets hit by a U-Haul truck.
Yeah.
That is that's like balcony spot level shit. But man, Eddie Kingston coming back was just the energy in that room, man. It was a moment. It was a moment like I haven't really seen in AIW before. It was just that energy was something different where it wasn't that same kind of energy with the U-Haul. It was a whole different thing there. And that was fucking wild. And I loved it. And I absolutely understand people picking that. But for me, it's Kingston.
I know we're 2 categories past this, but something in my notes that I did want to bring up, because I did always check through all the nominations. There was one that stuck out for Match of the Year where I'm calling this person out, and that's Porter O'Shea. He voted for Karate Man versus Filthy Tom, Part 1. Now, I understand you're old, but that was last year, not this year. We were in Indiana last year. That was Karate Man, obviously. That was all last year. And when I read that, I was like, how do you think that was this year? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, COVID just blends everything together, right? Also, don't vote for that, Porter. Don't fucking do that. Fucking Karate Man.
Oh, dude.
Stop it.
Dude, that was my match of the year last year. I loved it.
Fucking, oh my God.
That's great.
Summers, let me put it to you this way. It'd be like if they brought in Broski, right?
Yeah.
But Broski's like, no, I've got this new character where I'm a chef. And you're like, no, we want Matt Cardona. He's like, no, that's fine. But I'm a chef. I'm Chef Man. And he comes out with a little spatula. And
I'd probably like Matt Cardona if that was his gimmick.
I would 100% like him better as Chef Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Give him a Gordon Ramsay gimmick.
We never seen Matt Cardona in AIW prior to this year. Mm-hmm. And then if we're going from last year, we had seen Ethan Page for years. And
not for so long though. But he hadn't been there in forever, and he comes back and does a pretend karate guy for 2 shows.
Dude,
hold on,
Ethan Page
was the Karate Man? I thought it was a different guy.
All I'm gonna say is, in the words of Stacy, fucking Bloodsport.
Yeah, it was great. If you don't like Karate Man versus Filthy Tom, you just don't like fun. That's all.
I fucking hate fun, dude.
When fucking Fight to Survive hits, and he comes running down that hill and doing roundhouse kicks and everything. Oh, that was fucking awesome. Hands down, my match of the year last year, just because it was so much fun.
Dude, when Tom runs away and then he's way off on that other fucking bridge thing and finds out he lived and then starts jumping, it's so good. The whole thing was good. So good. I understand that Ed is hurt because he didn't get to have a regular Ethan Page match that he's seen at least a dozen times in person, and he had to see Karate Guy instead. Mm-hmm. Karate Man. That's fine, but it was fun, and I get that you can't accept it was fun, but it was fun.
So much fun.
So much fun that Porter O'Shea forgot what year it happened.
The only explanation I will except from him, if he says that match was so good that we have to count it as this year too. Other than that, like, dude.
Old man brain.
All right. Pam, you picked Kingston's Return. Was that your actual pick?
Kind of. So I had a tight time deciding between Eddie and the U-Haul thing. And then John happened. Like, and when John shows up to wrestle at AIW, it's like my favorite thing in the entire world. And it was like a hell of a Christmas present. So like I had kind of like a three-way tie between Eddie, the U-Haul, and John. But I picked Eddie.
I'm gonna apologize to Butters. You did nominate. For some reason, I was overlooking yours and I even have it highlighted. It was Pam.
Because he hates you, Butters.
No, it was Pam that didn't do nominations.
No, and I will tell you why right now. And it's because my brain sucks. And I asked Stacy, I was like, I'm not doing this. I cannot physically sit here and think of things to do because my attention span is just not there. Like, I will pick shit from a list.
Yeah.
But if you tell me to list something, no, I can't do that. Like, I literally cannot do that. And I don't know why.
She 100% had a breakdown about it.
My mental health is just not there anymore, I guess. And that kind of stuff. I was like, I can't do this. I'll just pick when everything comes out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's perfectly acceptable. I can understand that. If like you might have like some picks in your head, but you don't want to commit to it, so you do get down to it. Like, okay, give me the final list, and I'll go from there.
Yeah, like if somebody would ask me like what my top 10 favorite movies are or something like that, I couldn't do something like that. It's just too hard. Because I like so much stuff, and then like everything blends together with wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I can't do that. So just give me a list, and I will be straight away.
Ed, you picked Wes Barkley hits Kaplan with the U-Haul, but what was your actual pick?
Tried to fucking murder a guy. That was dope. Actual pick. So there's two, right? I really liked when John Thorne came out and did a wrestle, right? But also, and this is very selfish of me, I like when things go really bad and it's awkward for everybody. So just an honorable mention to when Alex Zane's music wouldn't play. And I had to stand out there for like 3 minutes and not know what to do, and made me laugh so hard.
And then he tried to sing it himself.
He has to. That's the best part. He'd ask, "Does anybody know this random song?" and can sing it. And it's like, what are the odds? Come on, Alex, just go to the ring. Like,
what do you mean random song? Like, how do you not know "Downfall of Us All" by A Day to Remember? I know that song. I was
never heard that in my life.
Yeah, I don't know that song.
Oh my god! He just stabbed me in my emo spot. Oh, Okay, so you guys should know it because it's a fucking great song.
How long does the music not play before like you personally walk? Because I would give it like 45 seconds to be like, fuck it, all right, it's not gonna play, I'll just walk out, it's fine. And he's like, no, people need to hear this song, and I'm going to wait 4 minutes until it doesn't. Like, such a weird decision. He's such a weird guy. Oh,
no, I would have waited no more than 20 seconds before I would have been like, all right, fuck it, here we go. Y'all know what it sounds like. Let's just
It's like they're on a live stream. They got a time limit. You know what I mean? Like, get fucking going, brother.
You didn't put the honorable mention down. You just put 99 Problems hitting in the Odeon.
Yeah, it was really dope. Another honorable mention is when Mikey beat Trey. That was awesome.
Yeah, knowing how you vote, I'm surprised you didn't pick that.
He, I don't know if I mentioned this. He did a Ganasuke clutch in that match.
Or I'm surprised you didn't pick that one.
It was dope.
You just had 99 problems.
How many times are you going to mention
it? Until he remembers that he knows how to do one and does it again.
Ridiculous.
You just had 99 problems fresh in your head.
Yeah, like that just happened, right? Mm-hmm. It was like a week before it, yeah.
Yeah, I waited to put this out till right after that show because I didn't want to do it before and then all of a sudden be like, oh shit, something happened on this show that makes it. Which I don't think anything really actually did coming through with nominations, but I just wanted to be sure. Butters, you picked Kingston's Return.
Yeah. So, I mean, what else can you really say? Like, it was just the moment. Like, it was a big moment, and I'll never forget it. I could see people picking the Kaplan gets hit by a U-Haul. I was in the middle of having a panic attack and being dehydrated when that happened.
Yeah,
so I was
that's
watching
right.
it on the monitors down in the tunnel, which was crazy to see and hear like everybody's reaction and then see it on the monitor. That was really wild, but the Eddie Kingston thing just really sticks for me. Like his return, like that was, yeah.
What was your actual pick?
I don't even remember.
Rip City wins the tag titles.
Is that what I wrote down?
Yep. That was also the fun thing about doing nominations is people had a lot of different wordings, and I had like they'll give me like a little graph, but if you didn't word it the exact same way as somebody else, it put in a different category. But obviously, it got put into a different category. But also, when it goes down to how these go, is sometimes you forget a moment, and you're just going like your first thought for nominations, but then once you see the final list, it's like, oh, you know what, this was better than what I nominated, so I'm going to pick that. Of all of us, I'm obviously the only one that picked PME helps Matt Cardona win the AIW Absolute and Intense Championships. But my moment of the year was just the main event in general for Major Announcement. I loved that whole match. I didn't cheer for anybody. I was just very happy to have those four in AIW going up against AIW wrestlers. And then too, for me, like even adding to it, like the moment of that match for me was the face off between Bishop and Cardona. And like the pictures we have of that is one of my favorite things from this year. So for me, it was that main event. Let's move on to the next category. The group/team of the year, we have the Rip City Shooters, the production, the main event, and the Philly Marino Experience. Going by how we all voted, Pam and Ed, you both picked Rip City. Stacy and myself both picked the main event, and Butters picked the production. So Stacy, was this your actual pick for group or team of the year?
Yeah, it was. So I gave the debut to members only, and so I gave main event this. The production, I guess I get, but they're not really a team. You know what I mean? Like it's to me, the rest of these were like actual tag teams, and those two very rarely are an actual tag team. Although they do like work together, maybe more than any of the tag teams do. But like, main event had a great year, came in, debuted, and ended the year out earning a shot at the tag titles. Like, kind of hard to do better than that.
I just realized I didn't say who actually won moment of the year.
You were too busy gushing over Cardona to actually complete your shit right.
Yep.
See how that works?
Gushing it over and making you mad. I love it. Anyway, no, it was not Wes Barkley. Wes Barkley hits Kaplan with the U-Haul, and surprisingly, what got the most, not surprisingly, but compared to nominations, Eddie's return is the one that got the most. And if I believe when it came down to voting, like it was really back and forth between Eddie Kingston's return and Wes hits Kaplan with a U-Haul, like going back and forth of who was actually in the lead. And it was, I won by a decent amount compared to some other categories, but still reasonable for being the moment of the year. But Kingston too, there was a lot of votes that came in just across the board for anything Kingston was in, or just even that match and everything. So easily a highlight of the year. Okay, back to group and team of the year. So
yeah, main event rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I picked them, and I think that would have been my pick for debut of the year, because there was that anticipation of them coming. And I could easily good pick Cardona, but I don't know. I watching the main event in the area, a couple years prior, and then getting to that moment, especially too, like, let's not forget Hello Cleveland and Is This Something You Might Be Interested In were shows that we didn't know a single match on the card. So it was all about surprises. So there was a lot of moments in those shows where music hit and it was like, who is this? But when their music hit, I fucking knew what was happening, and I got excited.
Yeah, man, I was super excited about them making their debut. I mean, the Black Craft Tag Team Champions. You don't get better than Blackcraft Tag Team Champions. I don't understand why they're not everywhere. That's the most prestigious belt in wrestling is Blackcraft, which I am very willing to buy if either of you are interested in selling your Blackcraft Tag Team title. Just hit me up. The DMs are open. Happy to purchase that belt off of you.
He has literally wanted them for so long.
Butters, you picked the production. Is that your final pick?
Yes.
Of course.
They had one tag team match in AIW this year. They won that tag team match with the coolest finisher. And that's all you need to know right there. One and done. There you go. Tag team of the year.
Ed, you picked the Rip City Shooters. Tell me, who in all of AIW, I mean, there's so many tag teams, who is your tag team of the year?
I mean, if you look at it, you just judge based solely on who had the most success as a tag team. I'm gonna ignore all that. You got to pick the Bitcoin Boys, right?
The Bitcoin Boys.
The Bitcoin Boys.
There was not a D in front of it. I just burped and had to mute her, hold that down. It should be the Bitcoin Boys, though. Why not? Fuck it.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, I'm done.
Waiting on for the Duke to get replaced by Dick Justice, and then they can't be the Bitcoin Boys.
We can't. It's not 10 o'clock yet, though, so I don't think we're allowed to say whatever the hell we want yet. Only 9:23.
Dude, we started off this podcast by talking about cum. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that is true. Big fat loads of cum.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my god, so much grease.
I'll say this. It wasn't an AIW moment of the year, but man, I was excited to see Dick Justice wrestle at Old this year.
oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So, Deadly. Okay, Pam, you picked Rip City. Is that your pick of the year?
It is my pick of the year. I know it's kind of surprising. I didn't pick Derek and Ziggy because I love the production, but this year I had complete change turnaround on Rip City. I've always liked Josh as a wrestler, but as a singles wrestler, and I wasn't really crazy about the shooters. And then everything happened with PME and all the bullshit, and it was just I can't. I just couldn't see them get done like that. It's just I just had to change your heart. It's no, I want them to come back and whoop the shit out of PME. I like Rip City now. So it's yeah, no, I'm gonna go for Rip City.
And the final voting with over 50% of the votes, Rip City.
Of course.
52.1% of the votes, and they were also the team with the most nominations. So that, another one. And I think actually through voting, it was never even close. It was always Rip City. Let's get on to Wrestler of the Year. We have the finalist of Joshua Bishop, Derek Dillinger, Kaplan, and Wes Barkley. This we had Stacy and Pam both picking Bishop, Ed picking Kaplan, and myself and Butters picking Derek Dillinger. Stacy, is this your Wrestler of the Year?
Yeah, that's my Wrestler of the Year for sure. How could it not be? Josh during this year kind of carried AIW through a fucking weird year, full of COVID and bullshit and trying to get back on its feet. And during that year, managed to hold all 3 titles, which nobody had ever done before. I don't think anybody had done that before. So yeah, man, I don't know that anybody could have had a better year than that as far as an overall wrestler in AIW. So yeah, it's Josh for sure.
How about you, Pam?
Yeah, Josh was my pick too. Derek was definitely a front runner in my choices. Derek has definitely improved over this past year, but just like Stacy said, Josh pretty much carried AIW through the pandemic up until losing the belt to Cardona's busted ass. But yeah, Josh has continued to improve, and he is a fucking star, and he is just gonna continue to develop and get better and come back and win a title and do all the good things. He's a grown ass man. He's a beast. That's the dude. That's AIW, not Cardona. Josh.
All right, Ed, you picked Kaplan, but who did you really think the AIW Wrestler of the Year was?
I'm gonna go over my notes here. It's Mikey Montgomery. He got a big win in the Chandler Biggins tournament. And then he's also an integral part of the best match of the year. So I don't know how you don't go with Mikey Montgomery.
Well, looking at the nominations, you were the only person that nominated Mikey.
That doesn't seem right.
If it means anything, Mikey got the same amount of nominations as Cardona.
No, like that, because he's better than Cardona, so that actually doesn't mean anything. It's so bad.
And he should
have got many more.
He got the same amount of nominations as Dominic Greeny.
Well, that adds up.
But Wes got more. So that leaves, me and Butters. I'll go first. This was who I would pick for Wrestler of the Year. I'd been kind of saying it pretty much ever since Go for Broke. And I think, him, Kaplan, and Bishop, well, even Wes, like, they had the best year this year. Now, I could see why anybody could vote either way. Because, like, if it wasn't for Wes winning Go for Broke, there wouldn't be the moment where Bishop is tag champion. So I'm happy that Derek got enough nominations to make it, and that is who my pick was. Butters, obviously, who's your pick?
So my pick was Derek, and it's mainly because, like, with the transition we've been going through in AIW, with everything this year, the two, like, real big stories, like, that we've had have been Rip City and all the titles, and then we've also had the story going along of everything from Go for Broke, which actually tied into the Rip City story. But along that way, I really fell in love with, like, Derek rediscovering his character and rebuilding his character, which really started last year. And I feel like he's added more and more elements as things have gone on. And he's just been, like, my favorite thing to watch this year. Like, I like everybody else, but, like, my thing that I can't miss, that I have to watch is Derek's match, and just the craziness in it. And whether it was his crazy matches with Justice, which when, like, they did the spot with Justice's hands handcuffed, and he was just laying in the shots, like, it reminded me of Rock and Mick Foley, and it just, I've never cringed so bad since the balcony spot. It just was gross watching it live. Watching it back doesn't do it justice. The chair shots that the Justice took from Derek, and I think that Derek just, he's had a really fun year. His match with Shane Douglas was awesome. Like, that was really cool to see, because I love Shane Douglas growing up, and that he got to have that match was really cool. Just a lot of great stuff with him, and then, like, him going to the finals of the tournament and just gushing blood in that match. He had a really great year, and I think that really, if I had to pick between the two, like, yeah, I could see it either being Bishop or Derek, but I just thought Derek had a really fun year, and he's been who I've paid attention to the most this year, and who I've been the most entertained by. So,
for the most part of voting, this was a 3-man race. The one that did get last place and didn't get votes for a little while was Wes Barkley. So it came down between Bishop, Derek, and Wes, and there was a very there's a big surge for who won second, and that was Kaplan, just losing by 1 vote to Joshua Bishop. And Bishop also got the most. Actually, no. Bishop and Derek were tied for first place with nominations. Very close. All right, that is end of the awards and everything. Something that I've done the last 2 years, and since we have the pretty much the same cast on. Sorry, Pam, you're once again not basically kind of excluded. It'll be interesting. What was your highlights of your own podcast this year? Butters, start with you.
Oh man, I started doing interviews this year, so that was really cool. Got to interview some up and coming guys, and then to watch them go on and, like, make bigger names for themselves was really neat. And then towards the end of the year, actually just having wrestlers on to like talk about wrestling shows they were on and just like pick their mind about stuff was really fun. And then I threw myself off my own podcast. So that's the crowning achievement of the year, is no longer doing IWTV Guide weekly. I'll just be there from time to time. So
How about you, Stacy?
I did a skew this year, started it. That was fun. Both, all three of the episodes that were completed this year for that show, I had a lot of fun doing. But I honestly think the best thing I did this year was take the whole end of the year off from September through now. And like, shit's going to come back in January and some shit's going to be different. But taking like a quarter of the year off, fucking great. Highly recommend it. People take their podcasts too seriously. If you're not making dumb money off of it, it's a hobby. Treat it like.
I think my favorite moment for Super Fantastic is when you put out that April Fool's episode. For about an hour before I realized you were fucking around. And you got me real good with that. That was probably my favorite moment for your podcast, because that was really fucking funny once I realized it.
I'm glad you liked it. I got a couple of people who were actually really mad at me for that.
Dorks.
I actually thought that was going to be your highlight of the year for yours, because that's like the biggest thing that I could remember.
I kind of forgot it happened until Butters just said it, to be honest.
Me personally, I don't mind doing a show every week. Yes, I know it's a hobby, but I think the thing that probably the best of the year for me was, having both, Brian Myers on and Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle was so easy to deal with, getting it scheduled, and on top of everything, I've gotten a lot of compliments on that episode, and I don't know, to me, I thought it was kind of normal, but people just like how it flowed, so I think that was great. Obviously, too, going down to Toy Vomit and interviewing Danhausen and doing that whole trip with Zach and Butters. Other than that, like, kind of like getting back to normal and doing the preview review stuff, so like I know like what content's coming out what week, instead of just all last year trying to come up with something. So that was definitely mine. Pam, what was your highlight of your New Girl podcast?
Nothing.
All right, it's now time for...
Hey, I do a show.
Oh, shit, yeah, Ed. Fuck. Oh, and I was going to say, throwing it out there. God damn it. Actually,
Jesus Christ, Summers, you're paid to do that fucking show.
And I was going to fucking mention that. Thanks, Stacy. That, yes, that is actually a highlight of me for this year, was to get basically hired on a whim to edit the podcast.
Because Jonah's too lazy to do his job.
Hey,
No.
we're all too lazy to do it.
It was first Jonah's on vacation, so I had to step in that 1 week. And then 2 weeks later, it turned into, we're all kind of busy. We all have kids. Ed had kids at the time. So can you edit? I'm like, yeah, here's my price. And we went from there.
My personal favorite moments from my shows were when me and Stacy made the call to quit doing Chantastic after Chris Chan went to jail for having sex with her mom.
Ooh, good call. Yeah.
Also, I guess PVD, my favorite moments when we got the Undertaker on. We learned a lot about the man, Mark Calloway, and that was dope. He has a shirt with the American flag and his name on it, and it says it's a Calloway thing you wouldn't understand, and that's awesome. Quitting doing interviews was awesome. Not doing interviews anymore is probably my highlight for Bob Van Dam this year, when Jonah made the call, like, let's just quit doing those. So I was like, oh, hell yeah. Perfect.
Like I said, Rhett Titus.
Listen, everybody says that. I don't think it was Rhett Titus. I think we were all just sick of doing them and trying to line them up. And I know I was sick of them.
I was sick of editing them because they were turning into like 2-hour episodes.
Dude, they were so long. It was just so long. It took forever.
Man, speaking of Rhett Titus, does it get any lower than being the TV champion of a company that has no television?
They have TV? What do you mean? That's all they have is TV. Like,
do they?
A TV channel owns them. Sinclair owns them.
But they're not like they're not still a show. It's not still a TV.
Yes, they are. They're doing like best ofs and stuff until April.
So he's the champion of best ofs. Got it.
I'm happy for Rhett Titus. Like, if you're gonna fuck it, dude. Rhett Titus has been in that company forever. Like, just give him the belt in a way. Sure, why not? You know what I mean? Like, good for Rhett. And that probably means that if they do come back, he's got a gig.
It would have been way smarter to put it on an injured Danhausen by shenanigans than to have Rhett Titus as the champion. I'm sorry. You could have had Danhausen just roll out there and somehow get a pin on somebody and become the champion, and it'd have been way funnier and way better.
Addicted to love, Rhett Titus.
One time at a Pittsburgh ROH show, I saw Rhett Titus deliver the worst promo I have ever seen by any wrestler at any level of wrestling.
No.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah, he tried to bust on Pittsburgh by talking about how the Browns always beat them.
Yeah.
That's not true.
No,
That
and this
is
was
not
like
at all.
0-16 Browns time. This was like the Browns haven't won a game in 2 years time.
Yeah, that promo was very bad.
I can only think of the reaction there.
It was exactly what you think. It kind of sounded like what just happened here. It was just a lot of confused faces. And him and whoever his tag team partner was at the time standing in the ring going, right, guys?
Right. Rhett Titus. He's got an outdoor gym.
And then they like lost to the Beer City Bruiser or something because.
Now that's a wrestler.
Any other PVD
I'm going to bring
highlights?
him in. What?
Any other PVD highlights?
Probably. I have a hard time remembering because, like, you guys know, you do shows. This stuff goes like out of your brain the minute you're done recording. So I don't really I mean, honestly, yeah, Mark being on, like, the Taker. That's probably my favorite thing this year.
2 high quality shirts came out of this year. The Coffin Sesh shirt and the tow truck.
Oh, the tow truck. I lost my tow truck shirt.
Oh, you forgot about the tie-dye shirt, too, man.
The tie-dye shirt's my
that was a
favorite
really good
shirt we've
shirt,
ever
too.
done.
I love my tie-dye shirt and my casket set shirt, for sure.
I like
I, lived in that thing.
I like the basketball shorts.
I have
Shorts
those
are
too.
dope.
They are very, very round 2 shorts, not the
Mhm.
first round that I heard were very dope.
I really wanted a Pod Van Dam tank top.
I want to do tank tops too because I'm a tank top boy, but I think that's going to be a hard sell.
I bought none of those items, so you're welcome.
Thank you.
I give you $5 every month still. It's all right.
You don't give me $5. I don't see that money. Give Summers $5 apparently.
Yeah, so
I
thanks.
guess
Thanks for the
editing a
$5.
podcast here and doing that because again, the best thing that ever happened to like people that want to edit podcasts is like the hosts and the people that normally do it have kids and people that like stop them from doing it, and then they find other people to do it for them. It's the best thing ever. Like same exact reason why I got selected to start doing If You Catch My Grift. So best thing ever.
All I'm going to say is to everybody who listens to Pod Van Dam, I put a lot of editing hours into that shit.
Yeah, you do.
But I love it. I do love it. I'll probably edit Pod Van Dam longer than I will keep this show going. I'll just say that.
Maybe.
There will be a,
Video's gonna be that long.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, I don't know. Like,
we'll see. I
I
have
have a lot of faith into that show sticking around.
yeah.
you got a lot of faith in this show sticking around. I know what my cutoff is, and it's not that long from now. I'm going to say under 5 years.
I'm telling you what, man. If Pod Van Dam is still around 5 years from now, I'm going to be amazed. Gotta go out with a blaze of glory, though. Pod Van Dam Pro. Joker fight Arthur.
Oh,
You guys think the world's surviving for 5 years. That's adorable.
Listen, Jonah talked to me about it. 2022, the rightful president, Donald J. Trump, is going to be put back in office. Everything's going to be fine.
In this economy, I don't think so. No, not happening.
Anyway, let's move on to predictions. Actually, before we do, some of the top episodes for Wrestling Cheers this year. Number 1, surprisingly, is the review show for One Step Ahead. And Stacy was on that one. I think Stacy's actually on a lot of these. But
I was on a lot of shows this year.
you were. I will say the top Q&A episode, though, is Pam. It's the 7th.
That's a boring episode, too.
Nah.
Wow.
That's the 7th highest downloaded show this year. And
Yay, thanks, guys.
the only, I thought I had more interviews on here that showed up in top 10, but right now it's telling me Marty and Sarah is in the 10th spot, and that's the only interview that shows up. So did it surpass fucking Danhausen? Must have. Anyway.
Hey, do you think that people outside of America get confused by 205 Live because they're like all on the metric system? So it'd be like kilograms and stuff, right?
Potentially, but 205 Live doesn't exist. It
does, and Dante Chen wrestled on it. Okay, so it's kind of getting back to being the A show.
I've never seen him before, or seen ever since you mentioned him. Never seen him.
What? Well, you're not watching NXT 2.0?
No.
What?
Haven't watched anything.
No.
Connecticut-based company in the last 7 months.
You're not watching Lash Legend?
Talking about it,
I didn't know
listening
who
to
he
your
is.
podcast.
That was
WNBA player.
That was the joke.
Got you. Sorry, I'm new here.
I was listening to Pod Van Dam before we did this, so like I'm trying to get caught up on my podcast. I didn't listen to anything for 2 weeks.
We listened to it. I had already listened to it, but we listened to it on our way back a minute
Well, thanks for listening.
ago. Every week.
I'm behind a few episodes.
Shut the fuck up. You edit this shit. You don't really need to listen to it.
All right, let's talk about predictions for 2022, and we'll also do some reviewing of what everybody picked last year, because I know nobody remembers. So, for the third year in a row, we're going to put our predictions down for Gauntlet for the Gold 2015.
Huh. 2015?
Not 2015. Jesus Christ.
Going back in time.
Gauntlet for the Gold 15.
I was going to say, if you give me a second, I can pick the winner of 2015.
2015, was that? Trying to figure, is that J-Pro year? That's just me like picking, I don't know where, picking a thin air. Let me see, in 2020, Stacy picked Mance, Charly picked Danhausen, Ed picked Mikey, and I picked Nick Gage. Last year, I picked Justice, Stacy picked Dom, but he also said that there would be a Magnum CK spot in it. Butters picked Trey. Pam picked Dr. Dan with a Chase Oliver returns. And Ed picked Mikey again. So for 2015, Jesus Christ, for Gauntlet for the Gold 15, for the third year in a row, Stacy, do you remember who your pick was?
Do I remember who my pick was from the thing we just did?
Yes.
That's a good question. No, because I was between a couple people. But I could certainly pick somebody. I can tell you for sure that Gauntlet for the Gold 2015 is going to be won by Ricky Shane Page. That's a certainty.
Oh yeah, that was what I think. J-Pro was 16, I think.
I think I picked Josh Bishop.
You did not.
Then I picked Dominic Greeny.
You did not.
Then I picked the third person that I was choosing between, which is Derek Dillinger.
You did.
Yeah.
Do you want to change that, or no, are you going to stick with Derek?
I think I'm going to probably switch it to Josh.
Okay.
No offense, Derek, but I think that's probably how it's going to play out.
I will put that in my notes. See, this one's going to be a little harder because I don't have it on a spreadsheet yet. I'm not having a spreadsheet till it's done, and I'm letting people potentially put predictions down for another week after this show comes out. Ed, do you remember yours?
Mikey.
Oh yeah, that's why I didn't have yours pulled up, because I already knew what you fucking picked. You picked Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey Montgomery.
Third year in a row. It's fine. It's finally going to happen.
This is it. This is Mikey's year. 2022.
Just like 2020 and 21.
I think this is it. I guarantee it. I'd bet money on it. Take those double titles from Broski. He's gonna beat him with a guy on a skid clutch.
Do you remember who you picked, Butters?
Derek Dillinger.
100%. That's exactly who you picked.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll stick with that.
Pam, you remember who you picked?
That's a hard no.
You also picked Derek Dillinger.
Okay. Yeah, because I had it between like 3 different people for like all of them. So
I like the way Stacy's thinking, though. I think I'm kind of putting things together in my head, and like I have an alternate idea for everything, but I'm just going to stick with who I had because fair is fair. But I like the way Stacy's thinking.
Well, because I got confused last year, and I think I got confused again this year with J-Lit and Gauntlet for the Gold, and which one gets you what. And Gauntlet gets you the spotted absolution. And
Right.
so that is Josh. I think if there's a J-Lit, I think it's very possible that Derek could win that, but that wasn't even a question.
I didn't put it this year because this is me just guessing, but I have seen the dates that were released on Patreon. Now, they're not names for shows, but there are a set of shows that are going to be on a Friday and Saturday back to back at the Odeon. And I'm thinking this is going to be the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tournament. I'm thinking that's going to become a thing. I'm not sure if we're going to go back to J-Lit, but that's something that I almost put, because how I can put little descriptions on this. I was going to say who was going to win the 2022 Chandler Biggins Memorial Tournament, but in the description say, or if it's J-Lit, because like we don't 100% know. And I do want to say like that show, those dates are in a different month than normal. Like obviously J-Lit used to be Memorial Day weekend. That changed with AEW, and then like the 1 year that we did have it, I think it was in June, and I want to say the 2 dates are in August. I could be wrong, July or August. So I don't know where we're going. It's basically a shot in the dark. And then gotta pull. I think I picked Dominic Guarini. Fairly certain I did, but I'm also having to look through all these. I will say this while I'm trying to find all these different ballots is that unlike what we're going to do later in the year, I'm going to revisit these after all these shows. And I'll say who picked who, but Derek is currently, well, even after Stacy's change, still Derek number 1 in predictions for the Gauntlet. Actually, I don't even think did I even fucking do one? I did not. I'm going Dom. I think, or you know what? I'm wrong. I'm going to go Derek. I'm going to stick with the trend. I think Dom's going to win something else. All right. Believe that's everybody. Let's move on to the next prediction. Chandler Biggins Memorial Tournament. Now, we thought this was going to be J-Lit the past 2 years. And also, well, we'll get into the other ones too. But in 2020, Stacy picked Dom, but he switched it to Bishop. Charly picked Mance. I picked Mance, and Ed picked Mikey. I went with Dom last year. Stacy went with Derek. And I want to bring this up. I mentioned that there was a prediction that was right. Not Ed thinking everybody's going to die, but I thought this was perfect when Stacy and I were talking about J-Lit. This came up, and we were both kind of right.
And then another one is like, so like at AEW, people can sort of work indies. Like Janela works indies, right? Like some people can. Man, it would be great if TK would let Eddie Kingston go for a weekend so that Eddie could come back and hang out for J-Lit.
I'd love to see Eddie in Gauntlet, because I think
you just get Eddie for one night. If he gets to come back for J-Lit, you get him for a weekend.
I see where you were coming from. I was going more of the Eddie Kingston pop when he comes out, but I see where you're coming from of like, because it's not just he's here for a show, he's here for J-Lit weekend. And we got that. We got TK letting Eddie come. Granted, it was for one night, and we got the Eddie pop.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Going back to the J-Lit predictions, Pam and Butters both picked Dom. And Ed, do you remember your prediction?
Mikey Montgomery.
No.
What?
It wasn't. I knew you were going to forget. That's why I asked you.
That seems suspect.
No.
It had to be Mike.
No, I'm going to say it, and Ed's going to remember. He said it was going to be No Way Jose.
Oh, yeah, dude. This is going to be the year of No Way Jose. COVID ruined that for No Way Jose.
So, yeah. It wasn't No Way Jose.
Oh.
No Way Jose.
So, for this year, Butters, who is your Chandler Biggins Memorial Tournament winner?
I'm going to go with Dom again, so stick with Dom.
I'm also going with Dom. Pam, do you remember your...
Who did I say? No, who did I say?
Pretty Boy Smooth.
Yeah, I'll stick with that. Don't ask me why, but I'm just gonna stick with it.
You know what? I'm going to change. I want to change my prediction.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm going to go with Isaiah Broner winning the tournament this year.
Okay.
And then he can cash in whenever he wants.
Oh my God, it's after 10 p.m.
So now
We can get greasy?
That means we can drink what we want and we can say whatever the hell we want. So excited.
It's gonna get
Big
worse
fat
than all
horse
the
cock.
cum talk. Oh,
Any of these
God.
little fuckers ever come out of the wall? Big fat little cum? Jizz.
Ed, do you remember who your pick is for this year?
It's Mikey, right?
Yes, it's Mikey.
Okay, I'm gonna change that though.
Oh, okay.
Levi Cooper, the former Tucker from Heavy Machinery.
Levi Cooper.
Oh yeah, Tucky.
Remember when he got released?
Golf.
Within an hour, he tweeted a picture of him on a golf course smoking a joint.
That's what I thought.
He's dope.
If he comes to AIW, I got a figure for him to sign already. So I'd be happy
You
about
want a
it.
Tucker figure?
Yeah.
You're the one.
Someone has to buy them. They're on the pegs everywhere.
Yeah.
Stacy.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember your pick?
No.
You had Chase Oliver.
Oh, I'll stay with that. That's a good pick.
Muscles Malone.
Lee Moriarty made him some new gear. Looks dope. It's going to be great. He'll look great winning the tournament with that.
Yes.
You know what he should wrestle in?
What?
Just jeans and a tank top.
Ed,
I
I
knew
think
that was
you're gonna
coming.
really like his new gear. I think you're gonna love it.
Is it Power Rangers?
Is it jeans and a tank top?
Could be jeans and a tank top.
Muscles Malone, baby.
Really, you just need him booked in like a bunkhouse match. And then that can be his bunkhouse gear.
Yeah, knee pads over the jeans, though.
Well, the finals is going to be Mance Warner against Chase, so it's going to have to go bunkhouse. So that's the only way to finish out the tournament.
You think Levi Cooper's going out in the first round?
Yeah, to Levi Everett. It's going to be the battle of the Levi's. Levi Everett's going to win because he can churn that butter.
I want to throw out these picks too. There were the things that totally didn't happen. The Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament. Stacy said To Infinity and Beyond. Charly said Bear Country. Ed said Bitcoin Boys, and I said the production. That never happened. And the fun part, when we tried to make predictions last year for the Biggins Bowl, we had no idea what to pick. So we just talked about it for a couple minutes and moved on.
Hold on, that guy changed his name to Levi Garrett.
Cooper.
Who?
That Tucker, he's Levi
That's his
Garrett.
name. That's his name. It's Levi Cooper.
Oh, Levi Cooper. Okay, I thought you said Levi Garrett. I'm sorry, I was going to say that's Chew.
I just got a text from Ed Battis that says, Liv versus Becky for the title right now if you give a shit. Battis, if you're listening, why would I give a shit? Why? In what world? Am I like, fuck yeah, I gotta turn on Peacock right now? You shitting me? The Raw Women's title match? I love it.
No, you don't. If you did, you'd put it on.
Oh, I love that he texted me that. Like, just up for the off shot, maybe. Like, I like that. Battis is good people.
But Ed, Cooch's best friend, is about to win a title.
Dude. Big Moose
Josh
Cooch.
called her a chooch.
A chooch?
Yeah, he was like, I wish Big Moose Chooch could live chat with us. Maybe give us all the dirt. And I was like, Chooch. And Jay Gold was like, at Young Ed's favorite person. And then he was like, oh, farts. I misspelled it.
Big Titty Tara now is what it is.
All right, let's move on to the next prediction.
Accidental Italian slang. I love it.
From the Jew.
This one I did not put in the official predictions, but we did do it last year and I want to repeat it. And that is, who will debut in 2022? Last year I said Kevin Koo. Stacy said Hoodfoot, Makabe, Heath Slater, and Lindsay Snow. Ed said Dan the Dad and No Way Jose.
Mm-hmm.
Pam said Kevin Koo, Tara Calloway, and Jeff Cannonball. Butters said Big Beef and Effie. So the only one correct was Effie. And of course, actually, this wasn't really predictions, if I remember right. It was who we want to debut in 2021. So on the spot, Stacy, who do you want to debut this year?
So I'm still down with Hoodfoot debuting. That would be dope.
Yep.
I think that might be a thing. I think that's a thing that could actually happen. I don't know that there's anybody else there's not like anybody I particularly want. Like, I'm a realist. Like, I understand there's a bunch of people who are like available, but they're also all delusional and think that they're worth a lot more money than they are. and it's stupid to book them for crazy money. So, like, Hoodfoot's a realistic option. I don't know. I would like, so there's, I'll tell you who I really want to see. It's not like a debut, but it would be a return, is Lufisto. Like, I saw that she posted that she's going to have a work visa for the US. There are a ton of matches in AIW that I would like to see Lufisto on. I would like to see Lufisto versus Derek. I would like to see Lufisto versus Josh. I would like to see Lufisto versus Thorne. Again, I don't think he wants to see that. But like, there's just a bunch. She could have just fucking bangers with a bunch of people that would be crazy. And then my dream match, but this is never going to happen because she's a flight and I'm like the only person who wants to see it, is I want to see Girl Schlack versus Kaplan. I want to see Sadaka get booked in AIW and it be her versus Kaplan.
What about Lufisto versus Jocelyn?
I don't care about that.
Okay.
No offense to Jocelyn. That's just not what I want to see Lufisto do. There's a whole bunch of people that I'd be happy with seeing Lufisto wrestle. I don't give a fuck about her wrestling other women. I want to see her wrestle against dudes who are like heavy hitter, like have rough, violent matches. Because that's what she does. Jocelyn's not like rough, violent matches. She has very good matches, but they're not. It's not that same vibe.
Okay, Ed. Who do you want to see debut?
The Fiend.
I hear he's available.
The Cult of Wyndham. Man, I mean, if it, like, I know it wouldn't happen, but honest to God, like, I think I want to see Braun Strowman so bad. Like, not even a joke. I think he would be great. I want to see him. He's got a blonde beard now. That's super funny. I want Athena back, but I don't think that counts as a debut. Realistically, I guess. Man, Pat's gonna get mad, but I'd love to see Jordan Oliver. Like, I like Jordan Oliver a lot.
Well, you're in luck. I don't think he listens to the show, so we'll find out. Pam, who do you want to see debut?
Good fucking question. I don't know. Come back to me.
Butters, who you got?
I like to see Masha Slamovich against Matt Justice or Derek, or like some combination of them. Edith Surreal, Trisha Dora, Everett Connors, the world's cutest tag team, which is Boomer Hatfield under his new name, and Shia McCoy.
Webster,
yeah.
Webster Hatfield.
Bohr and Erica Lee would be really cool to see.
Bohr's already been
What
on
is his
AEW.
name? What is his name?
Weber.
Oh, Weber? Why did I say Webster?
Weber. Okay, good.
Weber.
I was like, dude, you can pick a new name and you picked Webster. Come on.
Okay,
I mean,
This
so
was
Weber's
a little
not that
better,
better.
though.
while I understand Bohr has been here before, I'm saying that him and Erica Lee as a tag team would debut. That's the only reason I included that.
Bohr was at UXWA.
I think he did. Didn't he do a dark? He was in the trial.
Yeah.
He did.
He did a
Talent
he did a
initiative.
dark match with CPA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like,
Oh
them-
yeah, he was at a fucking the Hell on Earth at Brook Park, right?
No, he's in Akron.
Yeah, Akron.
Oh.
Yeah, because I did a tweet of like who I wanted to see for the first time in 2022 live, and I almost put the Bohr. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I've seen the Bohr. Shit.
Oh.
Bohr found us at the LVAC drive-in show by following the smell of weed, and I think that's really dope. I think that means we're all pretty cool.
For me, I'm gonna put down Koo again.
It's never gonna happen.
Well, the question is who we want to debut. So I want to debut.
Yeah, I would have said Koo too, and he had an awesome year, but it's never gonna happen.
I mean, after the tweet I just saw, I know that Everett Connors is never going to happen, and that makes it all the more funny.
I can't think of anybody else I'd want to see debut. And I don't even like thinking about former WWE talent at all.
Jeff Hardy. You want to see Jeff Hardy at the Odeon?
Oh, no, I'm not everybody else. I'm good on that.
That just seems like a Winchester thing to me. I don't know.
Dude, I don't
Already
wanna
in
see-
the Winchester?
Just think about it.
I don't want to see Jeff Hardy in AIW, but I do want to see Willow the Wisp and what's his other one? You know what I'm talking about, Stacy?
Freakweed. Is that his name? What's his name?
Something weed. Itchweed. Yeah, I want to see Itchweed.
Yeah.
I want to bring Jeff Hardy in. I would bring Itchweed in for sure.
All right, Pam. What do you got?
I'm so bad at this. Nobody. I really don't know. Like, there's so many people that you could potentially bring in. Yes, there's so many ideas you can run with. There's so many different things you can do. Personally, to me, squeaking Isaiah in was a good way to like put a new person in. But like, I don't even know if bringing somebody in for a one-off. Like, I don't know. Like, I think that who we have is cool, and I honestly didn't really have an anticipation for a debut in 2022. So, kind of why I don't have an answer.
I'm gonna add to mine. I want O'Shea Edwards. I think whether it was just like a few shows that he would do in AIW, but I think he'd be good. All right, let's move on to the final category.
Can't believe Ed didn't say he wanted Hook.
Oh, I mean, we gotta stay somewhat grounded in reality.
Or Kid Bandit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's Mega. Because I was on it like, I don't know. I just remembered I was like, oh, Kid Bandit's gonna be here in June. But I was like, no, that's Mega. That's not AIW. So yeah, add Kid Bandit to that. They're great.
All right, who do we think's gonna get signed this year? In 2020, we said, well, Stacy, you said Danhausen and Bishop. Charly said Danhausen, Manders, and Mance. I said Danhausen and Lee Moriarty. Ed said Mikey. And last year, I said Filthy. Stacy said Mance. He almost said Lee, but he thought Lee was going to go to Japan. Kind of sad that didn't happen. Ed said Alley Cat. Butters said Mance and Trey. And Pam said Mance. So who do you think is going to get signed this year? Pam, do you remember who you picked?
No.
Joshua Bishop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, possibilities are endless. You never know. That's what I'm sticking with, though. I have big hopes for the kid.
Stacey, do you remember your pick?
I do not.
Dominic Rini.
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one. We'll stick with that. I mean, I think it's going to be him and Koo. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him and Koo getting signed this year. I mean, I think at this point it's pretty obvious that Danhausen's going to get signed. He's already, I mean, he was at Ring of Honor for however long already anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean, who knows what the future holds for Josh? I could see that possibly. But yeah, I think Dom and Koo, this could really be the year that happens.
Butters, do you remember who you picked?
I believe I said Bishop this year.
You did. You said Bishop. Ed, do you remember your pick?
Did I pick Mikey?
You did pick Mikey.
Yeah, dude. I'll stick with that. Mikey's gonna be great on NXT 2.0.
I'm gonna go with, and I think it's an easy pick, probably too easy, and that's the main event.
I would love to see them get signed, but I feel like if it hasn't happened yet, maybe it ain't gonna happen.
I'm hoping it's one of those things they haven't got signed just because like a not yet type thing, as in there's potential interest, but hold off.
It gotta be soon. One of them boys ain't very young.
Yeah. The most for signed, Josh Bishop.
Well, I think a lot of these votes probably happened in that period in between. When did you put this up? Was it pre the results of what he just did coming out?
I did it the same day as the voting, so that was the beginning of this week.
Oh no, so that was people already knew.
Yeah. Also, I didn't mention the top vote getter for Chandler Biggins Memorial Tournament. It was a tie, but when someone changed their vote from Dom, Derek also for that one. So that's everything. That's 2021 review, year-end awards, and predictions for 2022. Any final thoughts or last-minute plugs before we go, Pam?
Maybe we'll get a new girl podcast this year. Probably not. So just find me on the Twitter. It's PAMELAA_NICOLEE. I make funny tweets sometimes. Sometimes I make sad tweets. You win some, you lose some. Come hang out.
Stacy.
Oh, if you haven't got one, go get your booster shot. I had COVID twice now. And the first time I thought I was going to die and there weren't vaccines and it did horrible things to me. And then I had COVID again, but I had vaccines and it was like having a fucking cold. So go get a fucking thing poked in your arm and don't be dumb. Also, my podcast is going to come back. Super Fantastic is going to have a new episode in January and regular episodes back to normal. The break is over. And Ed and I will be doing something new and doing a final-ish episode. It's not going to be big, real short. Final episode of Chantastic talking about how Christine's horrible.
Butters.
So I'm going to be not on IWTV Guide as much anymore starting this year. So I'll still be doing like interviews randomly, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, you can find me on If You Catch My Grift now, where I am the producer and I contribute very little. I let them kind of handle everything and have fun, and I throw in stuff if it need be. And you can follow me on Twitter at Charly_Butters.
Ed.
I'm on Pod Van Dam next month. I'm taking a month off. I'm on vacation. You should still listen to it. Thrift Store Jobber is filling in for me, so that's going to be fun. I have like 2 pages so far of notes on Belle Delphine for a podcast that I'm going to do with Stacy and the If You Catch My Grift boys, and that'll be a good time. Follow me on Twitter at PodVanEd. I also won't be on there for a month, but you can go back. This is disgusting. I started that new Twitter in April, and I already have like 17,000 tweets.
Jesus.
So you can go back and read all those.
How many tweets does Pod Van Dam have then?
Oh, a whole bunch. So many tweets that I was told to not use that Twitter.
Wow, that's nuts. I think everybody should like just tweet Ed throughout the month. So he has like
go ahead. I won't see them. Like
no, but like you'll have like a lot to come back to.
Yeah, I mean, do so many, tweet me so much stuff that I don't even bother to look at it. Like I'm like, nope, that's overwhelming. That's too much. And I just move on, and we'll just whatever. If you want to say mean shit to me, is what I'm saying. This is the month to do it. And if you're listening, Big Moose Cooch.
Oh God!
It seems like I'm going to be on a podcast or two with you this month, so I'll just say mean stuff to you when we're on there. So.
Yeah, dude, we're going to talk about Belle Delphine selling her bathwater.
Yeah, sometime this month.
Fucking stoked. She's a genius.
And, of course, you can find myself at jsummers330 on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, much like you can find the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. Like I said earlier in this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe your ever listen to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Check out our friends on the Trending Topics Network, such as Eurovision Showcase, Spanish Announce Table, and Wrestling with Altitude. Check out our other podcast friends, such as Pod Van Dam, Super Fantastic Podcast, It's Evolution, Baby, The IndieCast, Sobros Network, Biff Radio, Game Marks Podcast, Powerbomb Jutsu, Spotlight Series, Fully Posable, Doing the Favor, Positively Pro Wrestling, IWTV Guide, If You Catch My Grift, At Odds with Wrestling, Marks with Mikes, This Ends at Prom, and Porch Talk. Check out our other non-podcasting friends such as Thrift Store Jobber, The Mystery Men, Redline Radio, Mouse's Wrestling Adventure, VHS Party Tonight on Instagram, Good Company, Heart of Gold, Toy Hio Toy Show, Time Capsule Toys, Smokin' Jay's Barbecue, and be sure to use the 10% off code when you order of Cheers so you can save yourself a little money. Midwest Territory, Southern Underground Pro, and the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And have a great 2022. Later.
We're all going to die.
Stop that. No, we're not.
It's the Wrestling Cheers. get up on your feet, brightening your day in the middle of the week. And you gotta love the show, yeah, you know it holds a title for the best podcast, talking wrestling in Ohio. Finishing a cold one, take a load off. We ain't all about the prohibition like Josh, so we cheers. And then we sit back, other shows are in the trash, kinda like they Nick Stapp. Like the name is Matt Justice, wearing all the gold. Wrestling Cheers is coming to a close, the #1 podcast going in the game. And one day everybody's gonna know the name, it's the Wrestling Cheers. This is Platinum Max, signing off. Ohio, good night. The world, good night. We love you, we'll see you next week.